Right. Right. Hello again in this series where you watch me struggle using AI to build my trillion billion dollars application. So the previous video we implemented 3-panel layout, which turned out to be 2-panel layout of basically that. So in this video we're going to try to make it look a little bit more like this, which is nicer looking thing. So let me hide all this. So I'm going to focus on making sure that this bit looks like basically this bit looks like this. So let's copy the picture. Let's no, this is not what I wanted. We need to do it again. Copy. We've got now screenshot. I'm going to move on to. So basically this will look like, sorry, I wasn't sharing the screen, basically like this. So now that we have it out of the way, basically I want to steal a little bit of a looks and feels from the new OpenAI agent builder that kind of in a way inspire me a little bit to to change it now. It kind of did have that in the pipeline, but you know, seeing OpenAI implementing their stuff, I thought it's the high time to implement it on my side as well. Obviously it's a little bit different, not as powerful, not as famous, but you know, it kind of will do creation of workflows, but as an MCP server for tools like Claude, Windsurf IDE, Codex CLI, and any other tool. So basically a workflow MCP tool, or MCP tool that can build other MCP tools that are also workflows, to confuse everyone. So we've got our tasks, we've got one completed. That is basically what we achieved so far, as you've seen. Now we've got this basically, but we obviously custom node components. Okay, I'm just going to have a look at I'm going to edit that and I am going to remove the analysis for now, and you know what, I'm going to take it in 2 steps. So roll back what we had done, and I'm actually kind of thinking to adjust some of the logic anyway, as I develop the workflows. I think I'm going to focus on creating that part. So basically the title and the description, and then when we're ready, we're just going to trigger the analysis bit, which is going to basically create the plan, and then we're going to have execute bit to populate the third part, which will capture basically all the results. So rather than creating a lot of documents here with the progress as Claude Code seems to be doing these days. Oh, by the way, Claude Code 2 AM has passed, so I can start using it. Just on the side note, I am going to actually use Windsurf to go through this again. So I place. Okay. So let's have a look. Card-based layout. We don't want any gradient background. We don't want the key components. Display configuration details. Okay, so basically it kind of followed the suggestions, but I don't want to go exactly the same route. Tool name. Okay. So we kind of have icon and then we just want the title. Okay. Well, I'm actually going to say, right, update task 1061 or 1061 to improve overall looks and feels of the nodes and edges. Use the attached picture as reference, but we want to make sure that the icons are displayed. Doesn't matter what color it is, we just need to assign one color to keep it yellow for now on all of them. So we want circle and then the icon display and then the title of the node. So basically title of the node, and we keep it as that simple. Make sure it resembles the looks on the picture in terms of design, like where we place the node edges attachment, so the dots on the selected node should reflect where the edges come from, and we want to keep the radius the same, exactly the same as we currently do have on the cards. So make sure that you keep basically the same styling. For now, do not add any additional nodes, or just reuse the current nodes we have in a template. Start simple. Update on okay, so what we want to do is basically step back a little bit from what we had designed. Sometimes it's good to kind of get an epic and go from there, but because maybe originally I didn't give it enough information, basically that epic execution wasn't performing very well, at least on the first task. So I did have to intervene quite a lot and change it. Now, at the same time, I'm going to open Claude because I've got approaching weekly limit, which is fine. Oh, by the way, there is a nice handy website for Claude that is actually telling you what is your weekly limit as well as current session limit. So my session just restarted and I've got plenty of things to do. What have you done? What are you doing exactly? Okay, so it went off and decided to adjust things by himself. Do you know what? It actually is doing quite a good job so far. Okay, so, right. So, this looks good. It looks quite dark, doesn't it? Okay. Right, so right, this is good, but make sure that the nodes and edges look like on the picture. I think the nodes already do. I think the edges and the line between the edges needs to look the same, and then we want the dots to be basically left and right. We want them to be left and right, not top and bottom, so the dots connecting, and we only want to see the dots when we select the node. When it's not selected, then we don't want to see the node. And then the border, when we select in the node, should be exactly the same, just a little bit thicker as the normal border of the node. So it's actually done quite a good job. It just looks a little bit too dark. Okay. This looks good. This looks really good. Let's have a look at fine. So we want, okay. Okay, fine. Still doing stuff. Right. Right, I think I need to... Okay. So, right. As you can see, the selected node has a square kind of around it, which I don't like. So can you make sure that when we select the border is exactly the same radius and size as normal border? Right, so no, now it's still square, still square, and it's right. So it's the same problem all around the application. So I think if we fix it here, we want to fix it everywhere. So basically when I select, I can see like literally white frame, white square frame around the object. I don't want to see that. I just want to see like, you know, the same border as, you know, the rest of the object is in the current state. So we need to figure out, you know, what's causing it and how to fix it for entire application. Because I noticed that if I go to task list and I click over the pills to filter to different stages, it will have the same problem. So fix it on the underlying problem. So hopefully, you know, it's going to work. Right. I like it, I like it, I like it. Okay. If he cannot fix it, I will try to fix it anywhere else. Fine. Also, I would like the nodes to move around. Currently, they are basically stationary, not moving at all, so I can't move them around. I would like to be able to move them around in space on a canvas. Oh, nice. This is really good. This is really good. Okay. Okay, so we've got this, we want to see in a second. There's no ready need or time. Yeah, fine. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Okay, so pum pum pum. One more thing, yes. So okay. Ooh, what's happened here? Still cannot move it. Okay, good. Right, I still cannot move any. Cannot move any of the nodes. Okay, you haven't finished, so let's wait for it. Oops, what's that? Nice. Oh, this is amazing. Yes, we can move it now. We can build what we want to build. And I hope we can save it as well. So this is amazing. Right, so this is cool. Right, so okay, so the canvas is like a black background, but it has some white dots on it. Can you choose some color from, or basically make sure that the canvas is using the our Tailwind CSS kind of color palette, but at the same time make sure you choose some of that colors for the dots. So basically we don't need them to stand out that much, we just want them to pop up a little. So find some other kind of tone to match that. So yes, I think we get in there. In terms of looks, I think it looks good. what else do I want to do? Okay, so the card is a lighter. Okay, so workflow. Also use the same color as we use for the card to use for the nodes. So basically now they are very dark. Use, you know, the color we're using currently for cards to fill the nodes, and same with the background. You know, a normal page background should be basically the background of the canvas. Also, the icons inside black, white, so we want to match the color of the node background. So basically, the title should still stay as it is. It's just the icon should look exactly the same as the background, as it already have the yellow kind of circle background. Okay, so this is kind of minor details that we shouldn't really worry about too much. Oh, this is like too black, mate. Right, good, but okay, so the nodes should have the same color as the cards on the home page. So let's say on the index page, make sure the cards look, or the nodes have the same color as the cards there. Then the background, the dots should still be visible, but they basically have the same color as background. So we want to basically make one of other colors to show the dots. So they need to be visible, but not as they used to be, very, very hard. They need to be visible subtly. And yeah, make sure basically the node's color looks like card background, but I don't know if that is actually currently implemented. Right, and I am going to quickly just do this. Right. Let's do the cards. Right, see this to see this. There's two pictures, and color. Right, nice. Yes, this is what we wanted. Right, so Okay. So this looks good. I am actually gonna generate lazily this, and right, it's good. Put it into where it's supposed to be, and we've got that. Okay. Right, I'll accept everything. So at this stage, we kind of have good looking things that can load a task, log task. We kind of don't really need to do a lot of that stuff, but fine. So we've got working example of basically our template, and this is our template. So workflows, we can go here and create a workflow. We should be able to just go into templates and click on that, and that should take us to the workflow. Now, right, so okay, now review. Right, let's go in and see basically in task manager. Okay, it says it's completed build. That's yes, that's quite nice. Okay. So so we need to edit that because we asked basically, so right, I will rerun that this time correctly. save. Right, this is, you can edit only, you can remove it. That's weird, actually. You should be able to remove it. I need to figure out to basically be able to remove it, but never mind. So let's break it down, what we want to do. So we want start node, agent, we don't need agent, so edit that. We don't need agent node. We want tool node. Tool node, what other nodes do we have currently in there? Let's open up our table and see what nodes do we have. So we've got tool, log, conditional, set variable. Okay. So we want start, end, tool, conditional. We don't want transform. And we don't want approve. We want conditional. We've got end. We've got log, which I don't think we really need to use, but fine. And then we want to have variable. Let's keep it as dot. Okay, so form panel property editor. Okay, so we want to do, okay. Right, so we already have multiple forms. Right. Right, so keep it as it is for now. Okay. Right, what do we need to make sure we use the same form looks as currently in templates page. Okay, so let's save this. Double check. Right. Let's now go to okay, so let's change it to chat and update task task 1062. So let's have a look at what it's going to do, and definitely I need to do some work around the description. So right, so let's go ahead and let's quickly scan through it. It looks like right, so right, let's go actually to Claude Code EU and execute it. I'm going to publish this. Right, so it created new branch as our workflow says. So basically, yeah, to just reiterate, what we're going to do is use that workflow to create exactly the same tools that we use to execute. Basically, if we look at the tools in here, which we can't see because WinCEF have changed basically the way it operates. You used to be able to see all the tools, but now because of whatever reason WinCEF decided not to show the tools. Maybe they changed something in the underlying data, maybe or maybe not. I probably will need to look into the documentation and see if we can basically maybe start thinking of getting the cloud version of project flows, as well as kind of the free open source version as it's currently is. Right, are we doing anything? No. Oh yeah, we can go in here to see the tools I was talking about. So MCP tools, and over here we should have our example execute tool, example execute task workflow. That basically should be replica of execute task. Now, as I did mention in the previous video, if we look at execute task, okay. If we look at our MCP server in the MCP folder, we can see all the tools, and then we do have a little bit of a messy situation which I'm going to soon clean up and sort out. But we've got the rule tools, task tools, and then object tools. The idea is that eventually we want to have object tools which include basically creating rules, tasks, projects and epics to roll down into object tools. As you can see, I can use delete object to delete any of those, but historically I did have some issues with creating and updating specific tools, so I kept them separate. The idea is now that we will be able to use the MCP tools to manage the database. So simple tasks like create, update, delete will be object tools. However, for everything we will have like workflows, which will be still able to execute as a tool through MCP connection. So Claude okay, yes. So Claude can access those tools and go through the workflow that we design in there, which is a little bit complex, and workflow basically can use mixture of different tools as well as some conditions inside, as well as some extra prompt like, I don't know, get object, so load object into memory, investigate, plan the execution, or get epic and then break it down into tasks and create those tasks. So basically more complicated things that I still did have in here, but they were hard coded. Now the idea is that we will use the workflows to build them. No. Which means that load task is basically a tool that I'm using to load. Then I want to do some logging, maybe not necessarily, but as a part of POC. I think that was basically designed and it's kind of working, so the question will be, do I want to keep it later or not? Then we want some condition and then more prompts and stuff. So I think create will be, so create task, as currently we kind of execute everything within one chain. I think this will change, so I noticed that a lot better it works if we just do the title and description with the creation. Okay. Okay, fine. So, don't know why it changed colors suddenly, which I didn't ask it to, but fine, never mind. So the point is that we will be able to let's look at code. So we will be able to still look at, you know, and create those workflows, but use UI rather than coding. Okay, I think it's changed a lot of stuff over there. Let's wait for him to finish. So now I think this will be quite a challenging task if I think about what can possibly go wrong on either side. I notice many times over that AI doesn't seem to be very good at dynamic implementation. They kind of like to hard code. I don't know, maybe this improved with 4.5 and other reasoning models from OpenAI and stuff, but yeah, we'll see. Right, so Claude is 15%, that's not bad. Here we are 15, well, we are 5 days in, and we using quite a lot. Right. Successfully connected. Task manager. And what's going on? Okay. Clear. npm run dev. Okay. Nice. We got that back. Right. You kind of changed the colors, which I didn't ask you to, but fine. So we want the start node. Okay, well, it's kind of a little bit terrible, but fine. Okay, keep it as is. Right. So yeah, so we got okay, this is kind of not really nice at all, but doesn't really matter. We can do fine. We kind of don't want to rip off all of okay. Okay, so we don't really want the side menu. We kind of want to keep the things for now. Right, set a variable. Okay, the start node. Well, this is going to look like a lot of planning before we move on. So, although it kind of getting shape and form, I think I'm going to, this is working, start node. and actually end node. That's good. So that at least is what I was expecting. All right. Let's do basically this. Will it even save? Right. Okay. I am going to first of all improve and remove that inner border from the node palette. So let's try this first. No, so okay. Right, but you keep, so you removed both. I asked you to remove just inner one. Okay, nice. So this looks good. This looks better. Right. Instead of this right side panel, I would like to double click on the node to open the form in the middle. The form in the middle should look exactly the same as any other form on in my application. You can take some components or most of the components from the current template page form. So there's a form on the template page where you click on the card, it will pop up with the form where you can basically adjust the individual components of the workflow. Now, basically, we want to utilize that form as much as possible. As possible. Okay. Right. I think at this stage we can conclude this video, and then I can do some more planning and carry on.